The film opens in Utica, New York, featuring a truck driver nicknamed Clean, who works as a garbage collector. He works in a rundown residential neighborhood that has been struggling with persistent crime and deterioration for years. During his shifts, Clean makes it a habit to search for items that can still be put to good use and carefully saves them for later. After finishing his long night shift, Clean checks out of work and heads back to his modest home, carrying with him some of the items he managed to salvage during the night. Burdened by the weight of his past, Clean reveals his inner struggle, admitting that his hands are stained with blood from the sins he has committed. No matter how much effort he puts into atoning for his mistakes, he finds that he cannot wash away the memories of his actions. He drives to a scrapyard, where he takes a moment to prepare some canned food to feed his dog. Later, he attends an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, a support group. At the meeting, a former soldier named Travis shares a story about his past struggles with drug addiction, inspiring Clean to open up about his own battle with violence and the toll it has taken on his life. Returning to his quiet and lonely home, it is revealed that Clean lives alone, having lost his daughter and gone through a painful divorce. After preparing himself a simple meal, he spends his time repairing one of the items he had salvaged during his garbage collection shift. The next morning, Clean stops by a neighbor's house to bring food to a teenage girl named Deanda. Despite Clean's kindness, Deanda points out that he is not her father, but appreciates the care he shows. To show her gratitude, she gives him a handmade bracelet before heading off to catch her school bus. After Deanda departs, Clean makes his way to a small shop where he sells one of the items he repaired for a few extra dollars. Soon after, a man enters the shop to buy a gun, which causes Clean to pause and think. Eventually, he moves on and visits another store to buy some paint. Clean spends his time trying to make himself useful in the community by painting over graffiti on the walls in his neighborhood. The next day, he notices some new black residents moving into the neighborhood. He brings food to Deanda again, but finds himself still staring and pondering the new tenants. While sleeping, he dreams of his deceased daughter, and the dream wakes him up. Looking at her photo, he becomes emotional. The following day, at Travis's barbershop, Travis advises Clean to let some things go or focus on how to live with them. Meanwhile, the story introduces Michael, a feared and ruthless drug lord who is seen arriving at a prison to pick up his son Mikey, who has just been released. Upon Mikey's release, his delinquent friends greet him, much to his father's dismay. Mikey joins his friends and drives off, but despite his anger, Michael decides to let it slide for now. At work, Clean learns that he will have to cover more areas due to staff cuts among garbage collectors. He begins collecting garbage, moving through various parts of the city. Later, while picking up trash near a seafood restaurant owned by Michael, he notices some goons in the middle of a drug transaction. Choosing to avoid conflict, Clean ignores the scene and focuses on his work. At home, Clean is haunted by the memories of his past and the overwhelming guilt of losing his daughter. The next day, he finds Deanda walking to school because the school bus no longer operates in their area. Concerned for her safety, he offers her a ride. During the drive, Deanda asks Clean why he is always alone and doesn't have a girlfriend. Clean responds by explaining that he is not very good at relationships and prefers to focus on his work. That evening, at one of Michael's drug houses, Mikey is dropped off by his friends, and even though he's late, Michael tells him to join the family business. However, Mikey sarcastically responds that he doesn't want to smell fishy. Later, Michael discovers that 5 packages of coke are missing, leading him to suspect that the Chinese transporters are stealing from him. The next day, Clean repairs a bicycle that belonged to his daughter and drops it off at Deanda's house so she can use it to get to school. Deanda's grandmother, Ethel, comes out and assures Clean that he doesn't need to worry because Deanda is not his child. Clean replies that he does it to redeem himself as a man who has lost his way. Ethel reminisces about how their street used to be lively with children playing everywhere, but gangsters ruined it, forcing families to keep their kids indoors. She praises Clean for painting over graffiti and being a good man, but Clean insists that he is not. At Travis's barbershop, Clean shares a memory about buying the bike for his daughter. He recalls the joy he felt watching her ride it and cherishes those moments. Meanwhile, Michael spends time at church while his coke business continues to operate. The coke is packed into small grams and disguised as fish supplies for distribution. When the Chinese transporters arrive with a new delivery, Michael calls Mikey to come over. Without hesitation, Michael savagely beats the leader with a hammer, using the violence as a warning to anyone who dares to cross him. He then warns the remaining members to check their scales carefully before turning to Mikey and telling him to clean up the mess. That night, while collecting garbage outside Michael's restaurant, Clean notices traces of blood. He pauses for a moment, uneasy, but decides to keep working and finish his shift. Michael suddenly approaches Clean, apologizes for the smell, and offers him a cigarette, which Clean declines. Michael also tries to tip him generously, but Clean refuses and leaves peacefully. The following day, Clean's car breaks down in the neighborhood. As he checks the problem, a group of thugs passes by, chasing someone into an alley. Moments later, Clean hears the man screaming and goes to investigate. He sees the guy getting beaten up by a gang and just stands there, unsure if he should step in. The thugs confront him, but before they act, another man hits Clean from behind with a baseball bat. Clean wakes up in the hospital, where he's being treated, remembering the moment his daughter caught him using drugs. The doctor gives him a prescription, but Clean refuses to take it. When Clean returns to work, his boss informs him that he's being placed on leave due to liability concerns from the incident. Returning home, he finds Deanda locked out because her grandmother took the keys with her, so Clean invites her into his house. While eating dinner, Deanda notices that Clean isn't in good condition. While wandering around, she discovers a wooden box. Upon opening it, Clean quickly stops her, scaring her into running away. Meanwhile, at Michael's house, she tries talking to Mikey, but Mikey is too busy listening to rap music. Enraged, Michael confronts Mikey, who threatens him with a knife. Unable to go through with killing his father, Mikey decides to leave the house. The following day, while driving through the neighborhood, Clean notices Deanda hanging out with a group of thugs and tells her to go home. However, Deanda retorts that he's not her father and has no right to tell her what to do. The thugs intervene, telling Clean to leave, but in the end, Deanda reluctantly agrees to his request to avoid an argument. At the support group meeting, a man shares a story about the demons that constantly haunt people, making them lose hope that they can accomplish anything. Clean continues working on an abandoned building covered in graffiti. As he peeks inside, he notices something that seems like a person, prompting him to enter and inspect the house. However, the only thing he finds is a toolbox containing a pipe wrench. That night, while driving home, Clean spots Deanda's bike outside a thug's house. Inside, the thugs are drinking and smoking, and Deanda is surprisingly with them. She stands up to leave, but one of the men starts filming her, and soon they stop her from leaving, attempting to assault her. Clean approaches the door and notices what's happening inside, prompting him to beat the thugs with a pipe wrench. He ruthlessly strikes everyone inside, including the man attempting to assault Deanda. It's revealed that Mikey is among the thugs, and Clean violently beats him as well. Clean embraces Deanda before they leave, unaware that everything is recorded on a phone. After a few days in the hospital, Mikey is finally discharged and goes home with his father. The doctor informs Michael that Mikey needs surgery, including plastic surgery, due to the severe injuries to his face. Additionally, there is a possibility that Mikey might never be able to speak again because his vocal cords are damaged. Despite all this, Michael refuses the doctor's recommendations, believing that the experience should serve as a lesson for Mikey for not listening to his parents. Michael reviews the recording from the previous night, which reveals Clean's identity. Frank, a corrupt officer, informs him that Clean is a garbage collector who stays in the neighborhood and suspects that he is planning to escape. Knowing that Clean is close to Deanda and her grandmother, Michael instructs Frank to kill them first before bringing Clean to him alive. As they suspected, Clean is already fleeing the town in his car with Deanda and Ethel. Before they can get far, a police car instructs them to stop. It doesn't take long for Clean to realize that these officers have been bribed by Michael to hunt them down, so he quickly drives off to escape. Eventually, Clean manages to lose the pursuing police. In an attempt to switch vehicles, they stop at a diner. Deanda accompanies Ethel inside to use the restroom, while Clean searches the parking lot for a car he can steal. While driving, some of Michael's men spot Clean's vehicle, and once they confirm it, they head for the diner. As they enter, Deanda and Ethel are about to leave but retreat back inside upon seeing the men. While Clean is waiting for them, he notices one of Michael's men and immediately kills him before he can react, taking his hatchet. Inside, other men chase after Deanda and Ethel, who flee to the building's back room, where they find a place to hide. Just as the men are about to find them, Clean appears and attacks with the hatchet. The fight is intense, but Clean manages to take them all down. After witnessing the brutal scene, Clean finally reveals to Deanda and Ethel his past as a professional assassin. He shares that one day, upon returning home, he notices his syringe for drugs is missing and later discovers that his daughter has used it. Tragically, his daughter loses her life as a result, leaving Clean devastated and consumed with guilt, knowing it is his fault. Out of love for his daughter, his life has never been the same since. Later, at a motel, Ethel blames Clean for their inability to return home. However, Clean promises to fix everything. Determined, Clean drives back to the neighborhood and meets with Travis, informing him about Michael's attack. He retrieves money from his stash and goes to a shop to buy weapons. A friend offers him one of the best guns suited for his needs. Afterward, Clean gathers more supplies and schematics, while Frank receives a call revealing that Clean is a feared professional assassin known as the Grim Reaper. Clean then calls Michael and warns him that he knows his address and is coming for him. Preparing for the fight, Clean uses his salvage skills to improvise a silencer for his pump-action shotgun. Once finished, he dons his combat gear, revealing a tattoo on his back that symbolizes how dangerous he is. He puts on his armored vest, arms himself with various weapons, and sets out in his vehicle. Meanwhile, Michael prepares all his men to wait for Clean, assuring them that security is tightened. That night, Clean resumes his usual routine of collecting garbage, and while sitting outside Michael's house, he sets a trap in the electric box. It is revealed that he has already killed all the guards outside and proceeds with his garbage truck. As Michael and his associates celebrate, Clean suddenly rams his garbage truck into Michael's house. His trap triggers, cutting the power, as Michael's men begin shooting at the truck, unaware that Clean has already exited and is about to ambush them.
In the fucking room!
Boom.
Frank confronts Clean, but Clean quickly overpowers him, killing him with a flare gun. Clean continues his pursuit of Michael, and as he searches for him, Michael nearly shoots him, but misses. Michael fires again before Clean charges at him, sparking a brutal fight. As Clean is about to kill Michael, Mikey suddenly appears. Michael, delighted, thinks his son will save him, but instead, Mikey shoots his father multiple times before pointing the gun at Clean. Mikey tries to finish Clean off, but unfortunately for him, he is out of bullets. Days after the confrontation, Deanda's neighborhood is finally freed from criminal activities, with more children seen playing in the streets. While riding a bike Clean gave her, Deanda notices a garbage truck approaching and smiles at it, wrapping up the movie. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for future uploads.